back. So I just took out the front. Basically, that's how long it is. Basically, that's the length all through. But as I say, I like to, even though it's drying, I like to keep it moisturised with water all the time. I don't know what it is with me. And I've got this part all up, but that's the length all the way through. These parts are still in light thread. And I think thread, it just works for my hair because keeping it in thread, it keeps it kind of stretched anyway. And I wash it in thread, and when I take it out, as I say, take it out, detangle, use this, comb it out, put it back in big twists, kind of jumbo twists. It's about, what, 35 of them right now? But they're all shriveled again because I just keep on respraying with water. Like the one back here. It's come loose, but that's the length. Kind of goes, yeah. And it shrivels back up. So that's what I like to do on the weekend when I take off my units. But anyway, guys, how are you today? I didn't even say that to give the normal introductions. To be honest, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on this week, the past week. Obviously, I sadly want to start off in a bit of a morbid tone. Obviously, the shooting that happened in Florida. It just feels like Groundhog Day. It just, as awful as that sounds, but it's just like the politicians just don't have the will or the interest because it's someone else's kid. It's not their kid. I feel that the only way for this current president to actually be receptive to change is the voice from children, not from adults. You know, telling him over and over again. We've been there, done that. You know, beautiful Barack Obama tried, and now we've got this buffoon. I think that if he doesn't listen to the voice of a child or the children, then that is truly evil, because I cannot imagine going to school, going to, like, from schools to cinemas to churches to shopping cities, shopping malls, having to do drills just in case somebody may have a bad day and just manifest his hate for the world and whatever's going on in his life and carry out a massacre, basically. I can't imagine living in that kind of environment. I mean, I've been to America many times. I love Las Vegas. I mean, my first trip to America, I fell in love with the country. I mean, I can't give them enough kudos for the things that they create and do. Obviously, there's lots to say about the racism and the gun violence and whatnot, and the current state of affairs in terms of politics, but I just feel so bad for the children. How can you not be free? I feel that their freedom is restricted because of all this gun violence. But anyway, you know, I just pray and keep on praying one day the politicians will see sense. This NRA will see sense. The Republicans will see sense. You know, mental health is nationwide. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Not phenomenon, it's a worldwide issue. But school massacres is an American issue. You take away the gun. Well, I don't want to get too much into the politics, but I just feel that it'll be a safer environment if these people with mental health issues just couldn't get their hands on weapons that can, like, military weapons that can take out so many people in a space of, what, 20 minutes or how many, half an hour. There's lots to be said about mental health, but as I said, mental health is a worldwide thing. It's a worldwide thing. But the difference is, in America, guns are accessible. It's part of their amendment, right? So I just pray one day that hopefully, you know, things will change. I don't know what it will take, how many more numbers, but anyway, I just thought I had to mention that, because if I didn't mention it, it just seems a bit awkward because that was the main news story. Getting more into entertainment wise, I want to kick off with Chris Brown and his convoluted utterances yet again. If you don't know, he suggested a kind of tour with Beyonce, Rihanna and Bruno Mars. First of all, I'd just like to make a disclaimer. I, as a Beyonce fan, Beyonce to me is my little sister. I have endured years of worry and stress over her career, from the backlash she gets from doing certain performances, vocalizing issues about about police brutality. I wish she would vocalize about gun crime, but anyway, in America. But about racism, about feminism, about empowerment of women. I do not like, I always worry about the backlash that she gets from the media. The backlash she gets in terms of award shows where she's wrongly not awarded given the kudos for her work, and we all know it. And then to her husband, I'll roll my neck in on that one because she's forgiven him, and you know what, I'm just gonna leave it there. But I always worry about this chick. So the last thing I need is for the likes of a very temperamental character, once again, like Chris Brown sniffing around my girl. No, thank you. No. I need to keep this heart ticking for at least one more year. I mean, and for me, not taking away from Chris Brown's talent, but I do not need him to be around Beyonce or Rihanna on any kind of tour. That's just, no, thank you. Keep on dreaming. My girls will take this. My girls will take to Wembley Stadium. You can take to the stage on the left, as far as I'm concerned, because that's just something I do not want to see come to fruition. Please, I worry about the famous women I care. I do worry about them. Rihanna, Beyonce, especially Beyonce. That's just me. And yeah, so no, thank you, bitch. No. With regards to Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones. It's when you get to a certain age, you lose all sense of decorum. Quincy Jones is a renowned music producer, well known for his work on Michael Jackson's Bad, Thriller, and Off the Wall album. And so I always held this man in such high esteem, But to me, like, he has this kind of gravitas. But that literally extinguished on when I read his most recent interview. The man sounded like a complete hood rat. He really did. He made comments on certain famous men who are past. Why he felt the need to. Is this what you have to do to stay relevant? I didn't appreciate that at all. So Quincy Jones made comments about Michael Jackson, as I say, Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor. Completely unnecessary. Why? So this bitch, yes, I will call him a bitch, and his geriatric ass, he felt the need to spill uncomplimentary comments about these men. And then he used all sorts of vulgarities. Yes, yes, contradictory, because I just swore myself, but it just to hear this man speak in such a manner, I was like, whoa, what's happened to you? I just couldn't believe it. And then I won't even comment on what he said about Ivanka Trump. Yes, the daughter, not the mum, the daughter. That was left field shit. It was just shocking. I don't know. For him to comment on Richard Pryor and Michael Jackson, I don't know. This is what I hate about black people. Black folks, we as black people, we have enough disparaging comments made against us. Why attack people who you have worked with, people who you've known? Why attack them after they've passed and try to discredit their careers? I mean, let's not get it twisted. Michael Jackson kind of messed up his legacy with you know what. But let's not take away from his musical genius. Michael Jackson's Machiavellian. He took from this and he took from that. Bitch, who hasn't taken from anyone else? Everyone is inspired by different types of music. Everyone is. For you to say that about Michael Jackson, that was so unnecessary. What the fuck? I mean, Michael Jackson even said himself, and I believe it was the interview he had to do with Oprah Winfrey, that the moonwalk, he copied it from kids. Yes, we understand that he is inspired by many different artists before him, and younger kids, who dance or sing, everyone's inspired by something. For you to try to discredit Michael Jackson and this, that, it just, no, I'm not here for that. I thought that was just so unnecessary. Like those who worked with Elvis, you will never hear them disparage Elvis. We all know that Elvis took from other artists to form his career, to form his type of music. We appreciate that and just respect the legacy of his music, his genius. You can't take away from it. But he was inspired by others. Michael Jackson took from this Independence Shall Be by so-and-so. And so, could they actually, I've got a fluff of hair, could they actually translate the music as Michael Jackson does? I mean, I don't think so. So, for him to say all that shit about MJ, Richard Pryor, oh god, what he said about Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando, I don't want to get into that because it was just, no. Quincy Jones, you sounded like a little bitter old bitch. Yes, I've used vulgarities, but you know what? I don't care. I held this man in such high esteem, but that's just plummeted, completely extinguished, and I'm not here for him anymore. Let's move on to the TV shows. Now, Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder. Now, let's talk about Scandal. The last episode that I watched of Olivia Pope totally redeeming herself, I was totally here for it. Excellent way to end. I don't know whether that was end of the entire series, but she finally resigned as chief of staff under Millie as president. I thought that was just class. I feel that when Scandal started, it was fantastic, magnificent new show, the strong, wonderful character, Olivia Pope. But the whole storyline of Scandal kind of plummeted for me when they brought in Papa Pope and Olivia's drug-infested mum. I mean, for me, it was like those two characters were just so off-key. It was just over-dramatic. Their monologue didn't blend in with the other characters, and that's when I kind of like, whoa, what is this? I wasn't really into it. I wasn't feeling it. So, it kind of, viewing figures kind of plummeted, and I believe that's why, because I think the fans wasn't here for Papa Pope. He was just off key. I mean, head of FBI kind of secret agent gone rogue, kind of had this Shakespearean monologue which just didn't blend well with the rest of the cast, with the rest of the script. It was just stupid. But as I say, ended on a high, and I think the character of Olivia Pope, you can literally take that character into any different movie or any different series, hence How to Get Away with Murder. Now, I was so here for that last episode. Oh my god, when Miss Keaton, she lost her case, and one of her Keaton 5, I've forgotten the character's name, but she literally said, no, you don't give up, you've got to know people, you've got to meet people who can make things happen, who can change the game. And I was thinking, where are they going with this? And then, what? You see, oh my, that ending was just so slick, so cool. I was so here for it. You just see Miss Keaton go into the auditorium, and you see Miss Pope just walking in like the bitch she is, sorry, the bad bitch that she is. I was so here for it. Olivia just looked like a superhero. Oh, I cannot wait for the amalgamation of these two strong, wonderful characters. I can't wait for it. I believe it's 1st of March. Oh, I'm so here for it. And going on to, from TV series to movies, I want to give a little critique on The Shape of Water. Now, I know that's not the movie that everyone's talking about right now. I will get into Black Panther in due course. The Shape of Water. So, it's a very beautiful, mythical love story. Stars Sally Hawkins as Eliza. Now, she's verbally, aka a mute, verbally challenged. Michael Shannon, aka the guy who played Zod in Man of Steel, trash movie, but he did a stellar performance in this movie, and this movie, Shape of Water, has been nominated for several Oscar nominations, and deservedly so. So effectively, Eliza works in this high security government type laboratory, and it's set in the 1960s, American 1960s, but it kind of has a French twist to it. I guess that's the influence from the director, because you hear a lot of French music in the background, and it's so beautiful, so well filmed, the cinematography, the colours. So her life changes when she discovers this lab classified creature, a mysterious scaled creature. It was kind of giving me Splash type tease, but this is definitely not a gorgeous blonde. I mean, they didn't give us Chris Hemsworth. No, we got literally it was a scaly creature, and she develops a love for this creature, and he falls in love with her. It's a love story effectively, and so she develops a unique bond with this creature as a new friend, and she discovers that the government want to destroy the creature. Um, he's kind of like a merman, but more fish than man, unlike Splash. But anyway, so she discovers that the government want to destroy him. So she manages to bundle him away and frees him, and wants to free him back into the ocean where he's from. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful story. It also stars Olivia Octavia, aka of Hidden Figures, another wonderful movie. She plays the best friend of Eliza, the verbally challenged main character. So yes, it's a beautiful story, very mythical. There's one guy that plays her neighbor, Eliza's neighbor. I've forgotten his name, but oh, I love that character. His stories of loneliness and regret and what he would have done if he was young again. I loved it. I was here for it. I was like, it just resonates with me. Sadly, it does. But anyway, it's a beautiful movie. I think it deserves all the Oscar nominations it's been awarded. I mean, the lead actress herself, Sally Hawkins, she conveys a lot just through facial expressions, which is a very hard thing to do. I mean, she's effectively a mute in this movie, but she conveyed so much through, just her facial expressions, and it was just a beautiful movie. The way it ended, very similar to Splash. But one thing I kind of found funny is romance so dead that movie makers have to make a love story between a human female and literally a sea monster. I'm sorry. Yes, he's got percentage of and I won't say half man, half fish. We are not. It was no way Splash 1987 or 1988 with Tom Hanks. No, it was no way that kind of a movie. This guy was literally a walking fish. So who literally made noises like it was kind of like unable to speak, of course, because he's a fish. And then you had this woman who's verbally challenged, and they both connect with each other through. They find a connection, but that's what I find really sad. Is romance today that dead that they got to make a human woman fall in love with literally a fish? That's one thing I found funny, but I digress. Great movie. I hope it wins Best Picture. Out of all the movies, I hope that one wins Best Picture. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, what can I say? I would recommend definitely to go and watch Shape of Water. I definitely appreciated it. Great movie, great cast, great acting. Michael Shannon, bitch, you redeemed yourself. You redeemed yourself from playing Zod, because in Man of Steel, look, I don't even want to get into DC, because DC is literally, they should just shop, sell up the rights and give the rights to Marvel and let Marvel correct the trash that is DC today. And I am a DC chick. I am a Superman fan, but I'm sorry, that is RIP as far as I'm concerned, because Marvel have just reached new heights, and I don't think DC will be able to catch up. I'm sorry, I don't. And I'm just being an objective and kind of, was a DC fan. And I still am a DC fan, but I'm a DC fan of 1978, because those are the movies that I watch. Superman, Christopher Reeve, that Superman, those movies, and the Dark Knight. The current trash, no, I'm not here for it. Just. I think they just need to take a break, take a pause for the cause. Just reboot. I think they need to reboot the whole franchise, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of trying. I know there's no. I know they're not trying to compete with Marvel, but there is a competition going on. Let's not get it twisted. There is. And right now, Marvel are just killing the game, and I'm